The Secrets of the Old Victorian House. It was a dark and stormy night, the kind of night where the wind howled through the streets and the rain beat against the windows like a frantic fist. The only light on in the old Victorian house on the edge of town was coming from a dim lamp in the front room, casting eerie shadows on the lace curtains. Detective James was on the case, a routine missing person investigation that had taken a turn for the strange. The missing person in question was a young woman named Emily, and she had vanished without a trace. Her family was beside themselves with worry, and they had begged James to take the case. He had arrived at the house earlier that evening, and immediately felt a sense of unease. The house was old and musty, with a feeling of neglect that hung in the air. As he began to search the rooms, he found nothing out of the ordinary, until he reached the attic. It was a small, cramped space with a low ceiling and a musty smell. But what caught James's attention was a small chest in the corner, its lock rusted shut. He pried it open to find a diary, filled with entries dating back to the 1800s. As he began to read, he discovered that the house had a dark history. A young woman named Sarah, who lived in the house over a century ago, had gone missing under mysterious circumstances. Her diary entries revealed a tumultuous relationship with her husband and a growing sense of paranoia and fear in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. James couldn't shake the feeling that the two cases were connected, and as he continued to search the house, he found more and more evidence that pointed to foul play. But the question remained, who was responsible for the disappearances of Emily and Sarah, and why? As the storm raged on outside, James sat in the front room, piecing together the clues. And just as he thought he had solved the case, he heard a noise from upstairs. He cautiously climbed the stairs, gun in hand, ready for anything. But what he found was even more shocking than he could have imagined. Upstairs, sitting in a rocking chair by the window, was Emily, her eyes wide and her face pale. She had been hiding in the house all along, but she refused to speak of what had happened to her, or why she had gone into hiding. In the end, the case was never truly solved, but James couldn't shake the feeling that there was something sinister at work in that old Victorian house, something that was better left undisturbed. As he left the house, the storm finally began to die down, and he couldn't help but wonder what other secrets lay hidden within its walls.